Hey, what's up, Adventure family? I've got three really important things to share with you today. They're all three really important, so I'm going to ask you to do one thing for me, and that is to watch all the way through to the end of this video. I'm going to go as fast as I can, but again, please watch all of this because it's all really important. So the first thing I want to chat with you about today is I want to encourage you to begin to invite folks into what we're doing. Now, here's the thing. You're inviting them to more than just attending a church service on a Sunday morning or a life group or a Bible study or student ministry. You're inviting them into a community and really a movement that is looking to care for our communities and to live the ways of Jesus in front of people, right? Out loud in front of folks, so that when people see our lives in comparison to the culture and the world around them, they can tell there's something about your life that's different. That's really what you're inviting people into. A recent survey was done, and in that survey, 83% of people said that they would say yes to a personal invitation to church. And from that group, there was an even larger percentage that said it's actually a personal invitation that I'm waiting for, right? That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for someone to personally invite me to be a part of something like this. And when they do, there's an 83% chance that they'll say yes. So my encouragement is find some friends, maybe it's a coworker, a neighbor, a family member, teammate, classmate, and make that invite. Again, the invite is easy. It is to a church service, but you and I both know it's more than that. So extend those invitations, ask people to join you, right? Get people involved in what we're doing here and what we're a part of. Have them join that movement with you. And it's as simple and easy as simply asking, hey, will you come with me to church on a Sunday? Maybe we can grab lunch afterwards and talk about what you heard or what you experienced. Those kinds of things. So that's my first encouragement, and begin to invite some folks to become a part of what we're doing here at Adventure. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the series that we're currently in, because I get, Brad, you're telling us to invite people, but we're in this series that seems to be pretty overtly political. And here's what I would say to that, right? It's not that the church has become more political, right? It's that politics have become more spiritual. And as a church, we have to speak into these kinds of things. But even more importantly, the heartbeat behind the series is it's not a reach at trying to be relevant, right? It's not us trying to be provocative. It's not us trying to, shame the American government system or shame people who are into politics or try to get you to vote one way or another. That's not what this series is about. Really, what we're doing is the same thing that Jesus did, right? Jesus stepped into a time and a culture and stepped among a people who were just as confused, just as scared, and living in the midst of the same kind of chaos that we're living in. And what Jesus brought was clarity. I read a quote not long ago that said, when you can't offer certainty, right, offer clarity, because clarity is kindness. And that's really what we want to do. We want to step into a place where things seem pretty chaotic and things are confusing. And we want to point to the clarity of Jesus' kingdom and his way of life, because there has never been a greater opportunity, right, for the church to be the church than it is right now. And so really, this series is all about us pointing to the truth and the life and the ways of Jesus in a time where we all need something like that. We all need clarity, which is kindness in the midst of chaos. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about is giving, right? I sent out an email not long ago that kind of gave some updates on some of the projects that we've got going on here at church. And in that email, I also updated everyone on giving. Now, we saw an incredible response to the Ethos series we did back in February and March, where we specifically talked about finances and how finances ultimately are something that God cares about, not because he wants or needs our money, but really ultimately he wants and needs our hearts. That's what he's after. And really, if you look back in scripture, just like you would say today, money tended to be the thing that was in the greatest competition, or Jesus's greatest competition for the hearts and souls and minds of people. And so Jesus talks about money more than he talks about anything else. Again, not because he needs or wants your money, but because he needs and wants your heart. And he knows, hey, I've got to talk about this thing, which is my greatest competition, in order to be able to get at our hearts. I recognize right now we are living in a time of a lot of uncertainty. Where there is a lot of real and legitimate fear around what the future can hold, especially as it relates to things like cost of living and our finances and just what it takes to keep the lights on and put food on the table. But what we've also seen is our giving has not quite rebounded to where it needs to be, and we are consistently operating at a shortfall on a week-to-week basis. And so my final encouragement is this: if you are able in this time to continue to return a full tithe, which is 10% of your gross income on a weekly basis to church, I need you to do that. We need you to do that. Now, let me just say this. For some of us right now, maybe we can't do that. And maybe in the face of increased cost of living or uncertainty related to our jobs, that's not possible. What I would ask you to do is give the maximum that you are able to give. And to others, what I would say is, right now, maybe it's not a matter of this percent or that percent or minimums or maximums. You're, again, just trying to continue to put food on the table and keep the lights on. What I would ask you to do is have a conversation. If you're married, have a conversation with your spouse or your family, your kids. If you're single, maybe sit down and kind of draw some things out on a napkin or write down. If you're an Excel spreadsheet person, maybe take a look at your budget spreadsheet and figure out, can I increase my giving any, right? Maybe it's $5, maybe it's $10, maybe it's $20. I don't know. But if you're able to increase that, that would go a long way in making sure that for us as a church, we're continuing to, one, be able to make ends meet, but two, also be able to hold to the promises and the things that we feel like God has called us to do. Now, at Adventure, as it relates to giving, one of the things that we talk about a lot is we don't demand equal giving. What we push for and what we're all about is shared sacrifice. And that's the beauty of the church, right? It's not that everyone gives the same, it's that we all chip in and that we are all able to do what we're able to do, right? We are all able to, if we're able to bring a full tithe, return that full tithe of 10%, we do that. If we're able to give up to our maximum, we give up to our maximum. If we're able to, at this point in time, maybe keep it the same or increase it just a little bit, then we do what we're able to do. But the point of all that is, it's a cumulative effect, right? It's a communal effect. Instead of it being death by 1,000 cuts, it's life by 1,000 sacrifices. And so I want to encourage you to continue to help us to do the things that God has called us to do in that, and join in together as a church family and as a church community to make that possible. So, having said all of this, right, those are the three things I want to encourage you with. Number one, invite some people. Bring some people with you. Invite them into what we're doing. Again, not just to a church service, but to a movement of caring people and a caring church that wants to see communities change, both here locally and around the world. Two, the series we're in, while it may seem political, is actually spiritual, right? And that what we are trying to do is equip people in the same way that Jesus equipped people on how to live being salt and light in a bland and dark world, so that people can see, man, there's just something different about your life and what that looks like. Again, it is clarity in the face of uncertainty, which is kindness. And the third thing is, let's kick back up. Let's step back in faithfully to giving, to returning a full tithe of 10% if we're able, to giving to our maximum, what we're able to do, or maybe even to just increasing our giving just a little bit if we're able to do that. Thanks for being a part of our community. Thanks for being a part of our family. I love you all. Would not want to be anywhere else doing anything else with anybody else. This is a great and amazing church, and I know that the best days are still ahead of us. Grace and peace. We'll see you here soon.